Let's get right into it. Number 7. Sleep deprivation is like being drunk. Schools spend years teaching you about mitochondria, but never mention that pulling an all-nighter is basically like chugging a six-pack. Staying awake for 24 hours makes you as impaired as someone who's legally drunk. Scientists actually tested this. They put sleep-deprived people through the same tests they give drunk drivers. After 24 hours without sleep, you're as messed up as someone with a blood alcohol level of 0.1%. That's higher than the legal limit in most places, which is 0.08%. After 17 hours awake, your performance on some tests is equivalent to someone with a blood alcohol level of 0.05%. The really scary part is your brain starts taking micro-sleeps. These are tiny blackouts that last a few seconds. Your eyes are open, but nobody's home. Imagine your brain just deciding to hit the power button while you're driving 70 miles per hour on the highway. The craziest part is that sleep-deprived people don't even realize how impaired they are, just like drunk people who insist they're totally fine to drive. Sleep-deprived folks think they're functioning normally. They're not. They're basically drunk zombies who can legally operate heavy machinery. So next time you're thinking about pulling an all-nighter to finish that project, remember your brain doesn't care about your deadlines. It's going to start partying like it just downed a bottle of tequila, whether you like it or not. Number 6. Understanding survivorship bias. You're scrolling through social media and you see this 19-year-old millionaire. He's showing off his Lamborghini and telling you how he made it big by dropping out of college. College is for losers, he says. Just follow your dreams like I did. What you're not seeing are the thousands of other college dropouts who are now living in their parents' basement. They also followed their dreams, but instead of a Lamborghini, they got a mountain of debt and a Netflix subscription. During World War II, the military was studying planes that came back from missions, trying to figure out where to add more armor. They noticed most of the bullet holes were in the wings and tail, so naturally they wanted to add more armor there. But then this mathematician named Abraham Wald pointed out something. You're only looking at the planes that made it back. The planes that got shot in other places, like the engine, never made it home. They were scattered across Europe in tiny pieces. Schools love to tell you about successful people. Look at Bill Gates. He dropped out of Harvard, but he dropped out of Harvard, not your local community college. And his parents were wealthy enough to support him if his computer startup didn't work out. Instagram was bought by Facebook for $1 billion after just 2 years. What they don't tell you is that the founders had already spent years in tech. One worked at Google, the other had started and failed at several startups before Instagram. It's like saying you became a chess champion overnight after playing chess for 15 years. You're probably not hearing about the 100 people who tried the exact same thing and failed miserably. It's like those cooking shows where they only show you the perfect cake. There's a garbage can full of burnt ones somewhere off camera. Number 5. The planning fallacy. You know how you always tell yourself, yeah, I can totally write that 10-page essay in 2 hours? You can't. And it's not just you being optimistic or lazy. Your brain is literally wired to be the world's worst project manager. This brain glitch has a name, the planning fallacy. And it's why you're probably watching this while procrastinating on something you thought would only take a few minutes. The Sydney Opera House was planned to be built in 4 years for $7 million. It actually took 14 years and $102 million. That's like saying you'll make a sandwich in 5 minutes, but somehow ending up in the kitchen for 3 hours creating a whole Thanksgiving dinner. Your brain does this weird thing where it completely ignores all past evidence. Like, you know that every single time you've said, I'll just take a quick 15-minute nap, you've woken up 3 hours later in a different dimension. But your brain goes, nah, this time will be different. Scientists found that even when people know their past completion times, they still think their current project will somehow magically take less time. It's like your brain is that friend who keeps saying, trust me, I know a shortcut, right before getting completely lost. Whatever time you think something will take, multiply it by 3. Think that work project will take a week? Plan for 3 weeks? Think you can get ready for the party in 30 minutes? Give yourself an hour and a half. Break down big tasks into tiny steps. Don't just write "do taxes" on your to-do list. Write out every single boring little step. Because find tax forms and dig up receipts from that shoebox under your bed are two very different time-sucking monsters. Your brain is basically a time-blind optimist, living in a fantasy world where everything goes perfectly and traffic doesn't exist. Don't trust it with deadlines. Number 4. Lifestyle creep. You just got a raise at work, an extra $500 a month. Here's something they never taught you in school. That raise might actually make you poorer. Before the raise, you're living in a small apartment, driving an old car, and cooking most meals at home. Then the extra money comes in. Suddenly that nicer apartment doesn't seem so expensive anymore. Maybe it's time to upgrade that old car too, and you can afford to eat out more often now. 6 months later, you're somehow more broke than before the raise. This is lifestyle creep. Your spending rises to match your new income. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. And here's the unsettling part. This can happen at any income level. There are people making $300,000 a year who are living paycheck to paycheck. They're trapped in a lifestyle they can barely afford. Here's what schools should have taught you. When you get a raise, pretend it never happened. Keep living exactly like you did before. Take that extra money and invest it, save it, or pay off debt. Think about it this way. Every time your income goes up, you have two choices. You can buy a better lifestyle today, or you can buy your freedom tomorrow. Most people choose the better lifestyle. That's why a majority of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, even many of those making over $100,000 a year. Your income went up, but your needs didn't. That fancy apartment won't make you happier, but having enough savings to quit a job you hate is priceless. Number 3, imposter syndrome. Your brain becomes your own personal conspiracy theorist. You could be the CEO of a major company, a doctor saving lives, or crushing it at your job, but your brain is still like, any minute now, they'll realize I'm just a kid in a grown-up costume. The more successful you are, the worse it gets. You'd think winning awards or getting promotions would shut up that inner critic. But nope, your brain just upgrades its conspiracy theory. Wow, I've really fooled everyone now. About 70% of people experience this at some point. That means in a room of 10 people, 7 of them are thinking they're the only fraud there. It's like everyone's wearing an "I'm a fake" t-shirt, but can only see other people's success. Scientists think this mental glitch might have evolved as a survival mechanism. Back in caveman days, thinking you weren't good enough meant you'd try harder to improve, but now it's just making talented people doubt themselves into career paralysis. The most successful people often feel like the biggest frauds. Maya Angelou wrote 11 books and won countless awards. She still thought someone would expose her as a fraud. Einstein thought people were overrating his work right up until he died. That feeling isn't proof you're failing. It's pretty good evidence you're doing something right. Because if you were actually incompetent, you wouldn't be worried about it. Real frauds don't get imposter syndrome. They're too busy thinking they're awesome. Number 2, the hidden algorithms controlling your life. You're scrolling through your phone before bed, telling yourself, just 5 more minutes. 3 hours later, you're watching a video about how ancient Egyptians might have been time travelers. Algorithms got you there. These things are like that friend who knows you a little too well. Every time you watch, like, or scroll past something, the algorithm takes notes, building a digital version of you, way more obsessed with cats and conspiracy theories. These algorithms aren't designed to make you smarter or happier. They're designed to keep you glued to your screen. TikTok seems to read your mind. It's analyzing every millisecond you spend on each video. If you watch a video of a dog dancing for 3 seconds, it thinks, not interested. But if you watch that guy making tiny food in a tiny kitchen for 2 minutes straight, you get an avalanche of miniature cooking content. The algorithm doesn't care if these videos are good for you. It just wants to keep you watching until your phone dies, or you do, whichever comes first. It's not just social media. Dating apps use algorithms to decide who might be your soulmate. Shopping sites use them to predict what you'll buy next. News feeds use them to decide what stories you see. It's like living in a custom-made reality designed to be as addictive as possible. In school, they don't teach you how to fight back. First trick, when you catch yourself in a scroll hole, ask yourself, did I choose to watch this, or did the algorithm choose for me? Second trick, regularly clear your watch history and search history. It's like giving the algorithm amnesia, forces it to start fresh. Most important trick, set time limits on your apps. Because let's be real, no one ever lay on their deathbed thinking, I wish I'd watched more cat videos. Understanding these algorithms is like having X-ray vision in the digital world. You can see the puppet strings and decide if you want to dance or not. Number 1, how to actually learn anything fast. The biggest scam in education is how schools teach you to learn. Those long hours highlighting textbooks and rereading notes are about as useful as a chocolate teapot. Scientists have known for decades that there are way better ways to learn stuff, but for some reason, schools never got the memo. Your brain is actually designed to learn things quickly. You just need to work with it instead of against it. First, the Feynman technique, named after this genius physicist, who figured out that if you can't explain something to a 5-year-old, you don't really understand it. Pick something you want to learn, then try explaining it to an imaginary kid. When you hit a point where you're stuck, that's where you need to go back and study. Then there's spaced repetition. Your brain is lazy. It doesn't want to remember stuff it thinks isn't important. But if you keep bringing something up just as your brain is about to forget it, it's like telling your brain, hey, this is actually important. There are apps for this now. They'll literally tell you exactly when to review something for maximum memory retention. Finally, active recall. Instead of rereading your notes, close the book and try to remember everything you can. It feels harder, and that's exactly why it works. Your brain is like a muscle. If you want it to get stronger, you need to make it work. Studies show that students who use active recall remember 50% more than students who just reread their notes. You could literally cut your study time in half and learn more. These techniques work for everything, not just school stuff. Learning a new language, use the Feynman technique. Need to remember people's names, use spaced repetition. Learning to code, use active recall. So next time you need to learn something new, skip the highlighters. Your brain will thank you. That's all for today. I'll be making similar videos in the future. Subscribe to see them.